Potomac is wrapping up, and I'm not sure I'm even loving the Potomac reunion, really. I liked the season a lot more than you did, but the reunion is, again, there's no real meat there, because the meat obviously is Juan and Robin, this whole affair that was happening, or alleged affair or whatever for months that we didn't get. I mean, that's completely overshadowed this reunion. So the reunion seems so.
I think heads are going to roll in Potomac.
You do.
Andy
Well, you
doesn't seem
and our friend
happy.
Carlos King. Yeah. I mean, I think, who do you think is, because I'm hearing major changes. I'm hearing major changes too.
I always think it's weird. I think they never do it with just one, but we just kind of got rid of Rinna and Diana, who doesn't even really count, and Sheree Zampino doesn't really. So that was just one. I think Robin and
you do.
I mean, I think Mia would be my second person, but I think she stays. I mean, she's done enough.
Oh, yeah. Her friend.
And the professor, I mean, I don't know why, but I think she's part of the group now too, and she's done enough, right? I mean, Giselle and Karen and Candace aren't going anywhere,
You don't think? See, our friend Carlos King was on my podcast this week, and he thinks the old regime needs to go. Like, I don't
think needs to and will is different, right? Who does he think should go? Giselle? Yeah, she should.
Miss Huger, Robin. He basically paints a whole scenario. You can go and listen to the podcast, but it reminded me of you. He paints a whole scenario that if he was producing the show, he would fly down to Baltimore, and he throws some shade because apparently Robin and Juan actually live in Baltimore and not in Potomac or the DC region. And he sits them down and he says, unless you are willing, episode 1, for Juan to appear and go into this whole thing, then you are fired. And that's how he would handle it. So, I mean, I think Andy's pissed. And the fact that Juan doesn't show up to the reunion, even though the housewives' husbands are not paid, I don't think it's good, because they're part of the deal, right? And I don't think it's a good thing.
And I just think it's too little too late. I mean, so this happened. So what is that going to be? They're going to sit down, and it's not like Lisa Hochstein's divorce is happening during filming. Like,
right.
It's different. Like, what are we going to do? Hi, I'm Robin. I'm Juan. We have to tell you, we omitted something. I mean, they're going to have to break the entire fourth wall right from the start and be like, and now let's put the pieces together. I mean, they're still not dealing with it. There's no divorce. I don't know if that's really a story. Like, we lied to all of you and didn't tell you this, and this is what happened. I mean, you could also have a special with Andy Cohen, a sit down with Robin, and that's not I don't know what that story is. Like, even if they were willing to talk about it, I think I really think it's too late. And I don't know. I think Robin
going to. He sees Ashley's demoted.
I forgot about Ashley. I think they're going to do they have to this is the time to make big moves. I do.
Because he feels like Ashley now without Michael, it's like, what do you have? Like, that was another,
Nothing.
like, Michael Darby brought so much for so many seasons. And now if you don't have him, what do you have?
Speaking of which,
yeah,
a friend of mine has contacted me. Now, we know that I say yes to things when it's involving housewives and then want nothing to do with them socially. I didn't go to Karen Huger's live show that I was invited to.
Yes,
I didn't go to the Reasonably Shady podcast, which was in my backyard. Apparently, my friend wants me to go, and I apparently said yes to attending the drag brunch with Miss Ashley Darby. So let's see if I attend. I'll have some content for everybody, but I might be going to listen. It's all you can drink. It'll be sloppy, and Miss Darby will be there. So maybe this will work out, right?
Yeah, I love Ashley. I love Ashley in real life. She just got her boobs done. Again, she had 10-year implants, had them traded out for her. Her son just had a little birthday. I follow everything she does online. I'm friends with her in real life. We've known each other for years. I love Michael. Like, I used to live in the same neighborhood as they did in Arlington, Virginia. So, I love her. I get what Carlos is saying. And I think I'm with you. I feel like big changes are, and I've said this from the start. I do not understand. I do and I don't. I think you can't get rid of Giselle, even though Giselle should go. Like, it's interesting to me. She has like amazing job security, but again, tell me what her storyline is. Tell
And
me
not forever. She's not going to be there forever. But I just think when you make big changes, I mean, which is more power to Lisa Rinna, that getting rid of her is just one person changes everything. I think when you make these changes, it's not really one. It's rarely one in the current Housewives regime. It's usually more than one at a time, right? Like you got like, what does firing Robin really do to change this show? I think it's got to be more. I mean, now that you mention Ashley, I kind of forgot about her, which is not a good sign for her. I would say maybe Ashley would be second, believe it or not. I mean, I think Mia, I don't really like, but I think
she stays though.
I think she stays. And I think, God help me for saying this, the professor stays. I mean, I don't know why, but I think the professor stays. I think it would be Ashley and Robin, actually. I really do. I think there you go. That's how to clean house and just clean it up. And we're not having Charisse back. We're going to get, and Katie Roast is out there politicking. She wrote a hello to Andy that she's making minimum wage. We're not taking Katie Roast back.
My God, I love her. She's working at a co-op and I want to go see her. She seems like I want Katie to be mentally healthy and fit and have her children and all those things. And I think I hope that the production company feels the same. And that seems like where Katie needs to focus.
Production company, honey, they don't give a fuck about her.
That's true. I know, but maybe they'll suddenly have a conscience.
No.
Wait, there's one more thing I was going to ask you before we have to go.
Ask me.
I thought it was around. I think Mia stays because I do think there's a lot of financial, shenanigans going on with her company. And I mean, you talk about chomping at the bit for content. I think the production company wants to follow the trail of money because none of this story makes sense of how there's a board and she and her husband were voted out of the board, but there was only 3 people. Then there's 8 people on the board. It makes no sense. I think they want to see that.
I think so. And by the way, the 2 highlights of the Potomac reunion for me were when Candace was dealing with Giselle, as she should, when she was slapping down Giselle for all this stuff about Chris. And she was like, and then Mia was talking and Candace turned and she was like, shut up. Did you see that part? And
yes, people were loving
and Wendy like left. But the real highlight for me, which was I think last week or whatever, the week before, was when Andy was like, Ashley, this caller has something to say about like you basically accused Candace of having, and this isn't me being a Candace apologist, but she is the one carrying the show as far as I'm concerned. But he was like, this caller said, you basically said that she was like doing nothing with her life, and now she has a hit CD and she's doing this, and you basically said that you can't even pay your bills without calling Michael. So what do you say about that? But I also love that like Giselle gave it, or Karen, they both gave it back to Andy at times, right? They both
they all do. I think they all do. And that, I think it makes it interesting, right? I mean, it's
revamp the shit.
Yeah, you have to, because the thing is like the clips they use to tease these reunion parts are great. But then once you start watching the reunion, it's like there's just nothing. They just go back and forth about Chris. And I think literally everyone with a brain is like, Chris is not a cheater. This is so stupid.
And let me just say, because you asked me about Girls Trip 3, am I excited based on the trailer? No. Am I excited for the new season of Real Housewives of Atlanta? No. Am I excited for this re-edit of the OC in the new season? No. I'm curious to see what Tamara and Taylor bring, but maybe that's my most excited, but no, and no. I hope Atlanta's good, but I'm not. So, I mean, I just think we have a real problem here. Salt Lake is lightly filming. Am I excited? No. It's all no's. I mean, guys, I used to live for this at one point. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to talk about it, try to be positive and happy. But,
I'm over it.
Juicy Joe and